Good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome to week 12, college football season. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We're about to start the show. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday, week 12. Sorry about the hiccup this morning. OBS crashed on me and I had to restart it. So, sorry if you had some buffering or whatever might have happened on your end. My apologies on behalf of OBS. Yeah, OBS is great when it works, but when it doesn't work, that's the thing with OBS. There's no in between. It either works great or it doesn't work at all. There is no in between. But anyway, happy Saturday. Appreciate everybody tuning in this morning to the Kickoff show. I am your not so humble host, Uncle Lou. But before you get mad, just close your eyes. Imagine. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be impossible for some of you. But just imagine your team was about to win their 28th game in a row. Might be hard for you to be humble too. But it is what it is. Georgia versus Tennessee today at 3:30. The streaming schedule for today, I will be on YouTube for the Georgia game. So we'll live stream right here on this channel starting around 3:15 or so for all the afternoon games, including Georgia versus Tennessee at 3:30. And the Patreon stream for today will be the primetime games. So we'll just start the Patreon stream as soon as the afternoon stream ends, sometime between 7 and 7:30. The link to the Patreon stream will be posted on the Patreon page at that time, around 7:15 or so. You just head over to the Patreon page. You'll see the link posted. Just click the link. It'll take you to the live stream for the Patreon stream tonight at 7:30. If you're not on the Uncle Lou Patreon page, I honestly don't know. I don't know. But there's a link in the description of this video that'll take you there, though. How y'all doing? Y'all ready for some good football today? We've got some good games today. It could be, it seems like we've been down this road 2 or 3 times and it hasn't panned out. But it seems like this might be a weekend where things possibly could get turned on their head. Now, there's been a couple of other weekends where people talked about this and it never happened. So is this the weekend where we get a bunch of crazy upsets, or in a couple of cases, not even upsets? We've got a couple of top 10 teams today that are underdogs. You've got Washington on the road at Oregon State, and Oregon State is actually favored. You've got Louisville on the road at Miami, and Miami is actually favored. So I guess technically those won't be considered upsets if they happen. But nevertheless, it would be 2 top 10 playoff contending teams going down if that were to happen. As far as the upsets go, well, I don't know. Georgia on the road at Tennessee, so we'll see. Michigan on the road at Maryland. What else do we have? Florida State's playing a high school team. Alabama's playing a high school team. What else do we have in the top 5? Well, Texas on the road at Iowa State. A lot of potential. Some playoff teams playing on the road against some decent teams. We could see some craziness today. Maybe today is the day we've all been waiting for. I don't know. Speaking of what we've all been waiting for, check this out. You're reading that right. You're reading that right. 10 times. You know, Black Friday is next weekend. Do y'all do the Black Friday shopping? Today's rigged wheel winner will have an opportunity to win 10 times their money. 10 times their money. Up to $200. So don't send me more than 20. You know, if you want to support the show, that's great. I always appreciate it, of course. But don't send more than 20 because 200 is all I'm sending you if you win. So you send 10 and you win $100. You send 20, you win 200. You guys know how the rigged wheel works. We'll add everybody's name to the rigged wheel at the end of the show. Everybody from the Cash App and the PayPal. I can't do the giveaways on Super Chat, so I apologize for that. For those of you who maybe don't have PayPal or Cash App, I apologize, but I just can't do the giveaways on Super Chats. The PayPal and the Cash App link are both in the description of the video. Unless this is your first time tuning into the Kickoff show, you know how these things work. But any donation you send to the show, we'll get your name added to a spinning wheel, and then at the end of the show, we spin that wheel. It randomly picks a name. That person then has an opportunity to pick any game they want today against the spread, and if they get that game right, normally we send them twice their money back. So basically, they double their money. Today we're doing 10 times. 10 times your money because Uncle Lou's in the holiday spirit today. Up to $200. So like I said, don't send more than 20. I can't. I wish I could afford to send you $500 or $1,000, but it's Christmas time for me too. And Uncle Lou has kids, and kids are expensive. But 10 times your money just for supporting the show this morning. And good luck to everybody. Good luck to everybody on that. Oh shit, what did I do? That was not the droid I was looking for. These were the droids I was looking for. Okay, I found the appropriate droids now. I narrowly avoided disaster there. Don't worry, it was something on the back end. You'll never know, except for the fact that I just told you. There's the Cash App link, and there's the PayPal link. Again, most of you already know how this works, but any PayPal, any Cash App donation to the show, get your name added to the wheel. Into the show, we spin the wheel. Whatever name it lands on, you pick any game you want against the spread. You get that game right, I'm going to send you back 10 times your money, up to $200. I think that's pretty simple and should make sense to just about everyone involved. Can we take roll? Would that be something we could do? I need to get a head count here. Need to know who's here, present, and accounted for. I need to know that. Are there any Hilljacks here? What a disappointing week for the Hilljacks. Y'all remember last year? Boy, they were everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere on the internet. There was a million Hilljacks in every comment section, every call-in show, everywhere you went. This year, you can't find one with a map and a telescope. Now, the usual suspects you can, the ones that are always here all the time. But like the thousands of Tennessee fans that normally crawl out of their hole this week, haven't seen any of them. Haven't seen any of them. It's a shame. Now, if Tennessee wins the game, they'll show up. There's no question. Hell, Tennessee doesn't even have to win. If Tennessee gets the ball first and goes down and kicks a field goal and they're up 3-0, they'll all be in my comment section at that time on YouTube. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how many of them are still there in the fourth quarter, though. Right? But it's been a disappointing week. You can usually count on the Hilljacks embarrassing themselves publicly for 7 days leading up to the Georgia-Tennessee game, and this year it just hasn't been the case. I don't know whether they're embarrassed. I don't know whether they're ashamed. I don't know if they're just hiding. I don't know if their internet went out. I don't know if they've accepted the inevitable, which is that they're just a garbage fucking program who this year is putting a garbage fucking team on the field. I don't know. I have no idea. I'd love to ask them, but like I said, can't find them. I guess if I want to find them, I got to go over to Soft and Balls over there in their safe space. Are they all huddled up over there in a rubber room with a rubber, wearing a fucking, that must be where they're at. They must be over there on that Soft and Balls channel with a suicide vest on, curled up in a fetal position. That must be where they are. And again, because I can't say it enough, apparently, because I get comments about it. I'm not talking about the Tennessee fans who are here all the time. And look, there's nothing wrong with talking shit before the game. I mean, that's what it's all about. There is something wrong with talking shit before the game and then disappearing afterwards. Or not having the balls to show up before the game, but then showing up afterwards. Now, there is maybe a slight problem with that. Anyway, good thing we've got Florida State fans this year, though, to take the place of last year's Tennessee fans. Good God. Oh, man. The internet looks like somebody turned a light on in a cockroach factory with these Florida State fans running around. Unbelievable. They'll be here at least another week, too, because they're playing something called North Alabama today. So they'll be on the internet for at least another week. We'll see. We'll see. Man, I'm excited for today. I think we're going to have some... Look, Georgia could lose. What did I tell y'all 3 weeks ago? I said Georgia's not going to go undefeated. They're going to drop one. They're not going 12-0. Remember that? It was during Georgia's bye week. And coming out of the bye week, I said, look, we got Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. And you got to remember, leading up to the Florida game, Georgia wasn't playing like they're playing now, number one. But I was like, I don't think we're going to win all four of the next games. Well, we've won the first three. 3 down, 1 to go. But Georgia could lose today. So what would have to happen for Georgia to lose today? Well, I think, number one, Carson Beck would have to finally have a bad game. There aren't very many quarterbacks I can think of who've never had a bad game. In fact, there aren't any. I can't think of a quarterback who's never had a bad game. Now, this is Carson Beck's first year starting, so he's 9 starts in. He's yet to have a bad game. He's yet to have a bad game. This is going to be a hostile environment. If you know, the one of the worst performances Georgia has had so far this season was on the road at Auburn, and that's the closest thing to this environment Georgia has seen so far this year. Now, I thought Carson Beck played pretty well in that game, and he's obviously playing better now than he was then, but I thought Carson Beck played okay there. The defense kind of let us down in that one, the running game and the quarterback in that. And we didn't run the ball particularly well, but I thought Carson Beck played okay there, but this will be a more difficult environment than that. But so if you're looking for Georgia to lose, I think number one, you're counting on maybe Carson Beck finally has a bad game. Game day's at James Madison today for no reason at all. What else might have to happen today? Well, I think Georgia's offensive line would have to revert back to the way they looked maybe early in the season as opposed to the way they've looked the last few weeks. Right now, Georgia's running the ball better than they've run the ball all season long. And I think a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. Some of our running backs are healthier too. Kendall Milton being back has helped, right? So maybe the offensive line has an off day. Maybe Carson Beck finally has a bad game. And defensively, what would have to go wrong for Georgia? Probably inability to stop the run. I just don't think Joe Milton under any circumstances is going to come out and light Georgia up through the air. I don't believe. I think that's possible. It is. Tennessee does have a good running game. Now, it disappeared last week against Missouri, but again, that was on the road. This is at home for Tennessee, different scenario. But maybe for whatever reason, Georgia just has a hard time stopping Tennessee's run game today defensively. And then on offense, Carson Beck and the offensive line have an off day. Carson Beck finally has a bad game. Tennessee hangs around. The crowd stays in the game. And then, something crazy happens in the fourth quarter and Tennessee wins. Obviously, that's possible. I mean, I've been watching college football a long time. There's really no such thing as a guaranteed win. Now, I obviously think Georgia will win. I think there's a better chance Georgia covers the spread than there is that Georgia loses the game. But anything's possible. You know how I know anything's possible? I have proof that anything's possible. I have irrefutable evidence and undeniable proof that literally anything is possible. You know how I know? Because way back in 2016, Georgia actually lost to Tennessee. Think about it. That proves anything is possible in the world of college football. All right, let's take roll and talk some college football. How about that? I see Greg Whitlock in here. What's up, Greg? Good luck to your Vols today, man. Kirby's Belt, Twisted Rooster, Jay Shipes, David Altman, Shane Cupp, Christian Kofi, Just Speaking Facts. Ben Mantooth, Old Rascal is here. You old rascal. Are you 80? Or is that just a funny name? Steve, you have an extra I in your last name, buddy. What's that about? Steve, it looks like either it should be Steve Ballet or Steve Ballette, but instead it's Steve Balliet or Balliet. Well, Pompon, Kesquila, say Policino, Momzella. French fries, too. Robert Hurt. Tell me about it, buddy. What's wrong? What's wrong? Physical pain? Mental pain? What? Shane Cupp is here. Jay Shipes, KC, or K-Dog. Sir UGA, what's up, buddy? Niner Gang. Okay. Zach Hamilton, Robert Hurt, again. You okay? Mario, Colby Covers is here. Kyle, J.R. All right, I got to make a Google account. Let's see. What should I do? How about my first name and my last initial? Okay, J-A-Y space R. Enter. This name is already taken. Shit. Oh, I got it. J space R. R. Enter. This name is available. Yes. Is that how it went down, Jay? Has to be. Has to be. BA, Gamecock Orbit, Pastor Dave, Devin Dixon, Grayson, JJ, Harry Leggy. Sports Talk 101, which is the simplest kind, the most basic form of Sports Talk is Sports Talk 101. Dragonius, good morning. Austin LeBeau. A lot of French people in here today. Austin LeBeau, do you know that Balliet fella? I don't know if all French people are related or what. I just know I'm related to Cash Jones. Ben Mantooth, Alan White. Hoghead. Hoghead, sorry for your loss, buddy. I'm going to leave it at that because I haven't seen you talking about it online, but I've seen it on Facebook, so I hope y'all are doing okay. If you want to mention it, then I'll say more. But some people come here to get away from that kind of thing, so I don't want to dwell on it if that's not what you're looking to do. Huffer Billy Paul, Joe D. That's two, not Jody. Joe space D, like that. Raj. Jonathan Miller. Yeah. Robert Hurt says, I did pick your Georgia Bulldogs to win today, Lou. Well, good. Good. That means you won't be hurting for long. You won't be hurting. You won't be hurting for long. Yeah. Blake is here. So is Nittany Berg 20. Nittany Berg, you all planning on getting a quarterback anytime this century, buddy? What are y'all doing up there? It's starting to piss me off. You know I'm not picking y'all ever. I'm done with y'all. So I'm tired of y'all making me look like an idiot. The Penn State people. So get a quarterback that knows what he's doing, and then let me know when that happens. Goldie Jr. How's Goldie Sr. doing, by the way? Says, Lou, you're the best. Thank you. I don't know about that. Lou, I'm having a good day, but until about 6:30, says Jace. Yeah. Yeah, well, reality come crashing down a little sooner than that, I think, for you there. We'll see. So, Cram, thank you for hitting the, no, he joined the join. Yeah, the more people, look, I hate the join thing. I do. I can't stand it. But I do like the emojis, you know. That's the problem. That's my conundrum, you know. I like being able to use these emojis, like to say, who wins? Like, I like being able to do this, you know, with the emojis, the gator emoji. And the only way YouTube will let you add custom emojis is through the join thing that they have, which I hate. I don't like the join thing at all. But I like the emojis. And then, on not only that, listen to how, boy, I tell you, if YouTube would just put me in charge for a week, I could fix so many problems. So, but listen to what they do. On top of that, they limit the number of custom emojis you can have based on the number of people that join your join. So, like, every Saturday morning before I go live, I change all these emojis up. I don't know if those of you who have access to the emojis, maybe you've noticed it. But I change them up every Saturday morning based on the games that are being played. So, like, the biggest games of the day, I'll add those teams' emojis, right? Well, they only allow me a certain number of emojis based on the number of people that have joined the join thing on YouTube, which I hate. I don't like the join thing on YouTube. I don't like it. The only reason I turned it on was to get custom emojis. That's why you never hear me talk about it. You never hear me ask anybody to join. I only want it for the emojis. But the emojis should just be unlimited. Or at least have some sort of, like, I think right now I'm limited to like 13 emojis. Why? It's just ridiculous. So, like, every Saturday I have to pick and choose. Okay, let's remove this emoji because that team, like, I think I had Alabama on there last week. I took Alabama off today because they're playing Chattanooga, and I'm like, that's not, you know. I think I took Florida State off for the same reason because they're playing North Alabama, and I had to add, like, Oregon State and Washington because I wanted Oregon State and Washington. But so it's just aggravating. Anyway, enough about me complaining. I'm pretty sure not a single soul tuned in this morning hoping to see me complain about something, but there you go. I did it anyway. So thank you, So Cram or Sock Ram, for joining the join. Mike Luca, thank you for the super chat. He says, trolling aside, UGA does have to lose eventually. Still have a mulligan. Deep down, our dog fans kind of hoping it comes today when it doesn't matter. Well, I said 2 or 3, might have been longer than 2 or 3 weeks. I said it a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago that I think it would be hilarious if by the time Georgia played Tennessee, Georgia was still undefeated, but Tennessee had already played themselves out of contention for anything. In other words, the exact situation we have. Georgia has already won the East. Tennessee can't win it. I think it would be hilarious if an undefeated Georgia then lost to Tennessee. because Tennessee would have yet another Super Bowl win that means absolutely nothing. You know, they beat Alabama and Florida last year. It meant absolutely nothing. Nothing. They didn't win their division last year. They didn't win the SEC. They didn't make it to the playoffs. It meant nothing that they beat Alabama and Florida. In fact, it meant so little that this season they turned right around and lost to both of those teams again. So it would be funny if that happened. Now, obviously, I don't want that to happen. I don't ever want Georgia to lose. But you are right about what you say there. UJ does have to lose eventually. Georgia's just not going to win their next 100 games. It's not going to happen. Now, from a purely what's best for Georgia scenario, other than just winning and going 15-0 again, if Georgia is going to lose, today would be the day for them to lose, as far as what would be best for Georgia. If Georgia has to lose a game, right? Because I don't think if Georgia goes 12-0 and loses to Bama, I don't think Georgia is getting in the playoffs unless we have a lot of crazy stuff happen in the next 2 weeks. You would have to end up with a lot of 2-loss conference champions for Georgia to get into the playoffs with a loss in the SEC title game. Because if Georgia loses in that SEC title game, I don't think they're getting in over any undefeated or one-loss conference champion. So obviously you'd rather Georgia lose today than lose in the SEC title game, because if Georgia loses today but then wins the SEC title game, they're going to the playoffs at 12-1 with an SEC title, right? If they go 12-0 but lose the SEC championship game, same record, 12-1, but because the loss came in the SEC championship game, I don't think they would get in. So if you tell me right now, Lou, Georgia's going 12-1, what game do you want them to lose? It would be this one. It would be this one. I don't think they're going to lose, and I don't want them to lose. But it would be funny. It would be funny because Tennessee would have yet another Super Bowl win. They had 2 Super Bowl wins last year, Alabama and Florida. Neither amounted to anything. So far this year, they've got 1 Super Bowl win. That's against South Carolina, which obviously amounts to nothing as well. So they're going for their second straight year of 2 meaningless Super Bowl wins by getting a win over Georgia today. Beating Vandy next week is nothing. I mean, they'll beat Vandy no problem. So is everyone else. This is Tennessee's last chance for a second Super Bowl win because they're not making a New Year's 6 game. You regressed this year, Tennessee. You went backwards. Yeah, you went backwards. It is what it is. Blaine Oliver says Deion is so depressed he might cut off all his toes. Boy, he looked miserable last night. I made a video at halftime, the Colorado game. A lot of you might not have seen it. The game didn't come on until 10:30, so halftime was like after midnight. But I did the halftime video. Colorado was losing at halftime 35-7 or 42-7. It was a blowout. It was horrible. But they kept showing Deion Sanders on the side, literally between every play. They would show the play. They would cut to Deion Sanders on the sideline, close-ups of his face. The man looked miserable. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else on earth but there. Now, I know he was sick. It's a cold or whatever he's got, the flu. I get that. It was more than that. It was more than that. He looked really, really bad. Anyway, at the end of that halftime video that I did, I turned the camera around to the TV and they do a close-up. Let me just see if let me just play the end of it just for those of you, for those of you that didn't get to see Deion Sanders on the sideline last night. It was just absolutely miserable. Let's find this real quick. Then we're going to pull up the schedule of games for today and get started with the rundown like we normally do. All right, where's this? No interest in being there. He doesn't want to be there. He's not a football coach. They're a terrible team. Every single time they show him the exact same look. It's the exact same look again. Look, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Boy, he just looked so sad. He looked so sad. And then it was hilarious. The post-game, I can't get enough of the Deion Sanders post-game press conferences either. Y'all know how I feel about post-game press conferences. They're mostly a waste of time. The only reason to watch a post-game press conference is to laugh at the coach. And so there are certain coaches or teams that you end up having to watch them. Like I used to watch all of Dan Mullen's post-game press conferences because he just kept embarrassing himself. You used to watch all the Butch Jones post-game press conferences, right? You watch Mike Leach post-game press. You're not watching the post-game press conferences of these teams to learn something about the team or the game. I mean, that's just, that you don't. It's just certain. Deion Sanders has fallen into that category. So now Shedeur Sanders did get hurt in this game with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, okay? It was 28-7. Colorado was losing 28-7 when Shedeur left the game. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. One of the first things Deion says in the postgame press conference is, well, once Shedeur went out, things kind of got away from us. No, hey, you were losing 28-7 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and he was in the game the whole time up to that point. So stop. The game kind of got away with us after Shedeur went out. No, it had nothing to do with Shedeur going out. Nothing. Yeah, if Shedeur would have been in the game, we could have came back from that 35-7 halftime deficit or 42-7, whatever it was. No, you couldn't. You couldn't even get a fucking first down, Deion. What are you talking about? A lot of people owe me an apology on this Deion Sanders thing. That's great that they beat TCU 11 weeks ago. That's amazing. And yeah, I was wrong about the TCU game. But you know what? I predicted Colorado to go 3-9. They're going to go 4-8. I was off by one fucking game. One. I was off by one game. They're not winning next week. It won't even be close or competitive. They're going to get blown out again. I had them at 3-9. They're going to go 4-8. Where are all the people that after the TCU game called me the dumbest person on the planet and a racist and Colorado's going 10-2 and all that? No, I wasn't wrong. You were fucking wrong, dummy. You were wrong. You were dead wrong. You couldn't be any wronger. Colorado has sewn up last place in the Pac-12. Dead last. Dead last. They've got one conference win. One. That many. They're 1-7. They're about to be 1-8. They're dead. They're dead last in the Pac-12 right now. They've sewn it up. There's nothing they can do. Even if they win next week, they're still last in the Pac-12, and they're not going to win next week. They're not, because they're not any good. Cormani McClain got burned up like I've never seen. Washington State threw the ball at Cormani McClain like 15 times in a row. The guy didn't know where the hell he was at. Cormani McClain looked like a 4-year-old playing with adults. He didn't know what he was doing or where he was at. Travis Hunter got burnt multiple times. Colorado's just a horrific team. They're horrific. Thank you, Blaine. Marcus EDC says, good morning, Lou, and go dogs, F the Vols. Yeah. Nick Koenig, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate all you do, Lou. Hashtag go Bucks, hashtag go dogs. What do y'all play, Minnesota today? Something, is it Minnesota? I think it's Minnesota. Ohio State should win big today. We're going to pull up the schedule of games here in just a second and go through all of today's games, figure out what we need to watch, what time it comes on, all that kind of stuff. We'll do that in just a second. Hog Man, thank you for the super chat. He says, guys, I got to get dressed and head to Robbinsville. I should be back at halftime. Thank you all so much for everything. Yeah, we'll be thinking about you, Hog Man. Carolina Jackpot. What's out of his mind, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. This giant dummy done picked Tennessee to cover today. Is that the first time I've ever given you the 5-star dummy, Jackpot? 5-star dummy. I think that's the first time I've ever given Jackpot the 5-star dummy, but he did pick Tennessee to cover. He says, Brando and the other dumb announcer were complimenting Colorado on how hard they were fighting when they scored to make it 56-14. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. They're horrible. And they're like 65th in recruiting. So that's the other thing. These other people, they're dead wrong. Oh, they're going 10-2 this year. Now you turn around and they figure out they're going 4-8, and you're like, oh, well, they'll be good next year because Deion can recruit. He can? Well, when's he going to start? They're 60th. So they're like 65th or something in recruiting. Signing day's in 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks, or whatever the fuck. They're not even going to finish in the top 50 in recruiting. So stop with the, well, yeah, but it's his first year. Wait till he gets his recruits. His recruits are terrible. Inverted Thrills, thank you for the super chat. The week 1 your season is over, aged very well. You had that whole rant about keep the same energy, and you sure as hell are keeping it now. I kept the same energy the whole time. You know who didn't? Them. They. Those people. Cancel me. I don't care. They didn't keep the same fucking energy. Where are they at? You know where they're at? Back to doing what they were doing at this time last year, watching the NBA and the NFL. They don't give a fuck about college football. They're Dion nut-hugging dingleberries. They don't know anything about college football, nor do they give a fuck about it. So they're gone. They checked out 5 weeks ago. They're not here. They're not anywhere. They're gone. What is this? I don't know or care. The Dion Dingleberries have been flushed, says Lothar of the Hill People. Thank you, Lothar. Let's move on. Let's move on. Wow. 56-14. Washington State had lost, what, 4 games in a row? Washington State had lost 4 or 5 games in a row. Beats Colorado 56-14. Absolutely humiliating. There's no other way to describe it. There's no other way to describe it. It's fucking humiliating. Wait till he gets his recruits. You just wait till he gets his recruits, Lou. Yeah, I'll be patiently waiting. Be patiently waiting. Okay. Enough laughing about Colorado. Let's figure out who we're going to laugh at today. The Cheaters are on the road at Maryland, 12 o'clock on Fox. Michigan, shit just keeps getting worse for them. Now they got a booster that's been accused of funding the operation. The booster comes out and kind of denies it, but not really. He basically just goes, well, nothing Connor Stallions did was against the rules. That was his denial. Fucking idiot. So let's see here. How high up does this thing go? Let's see. Well, this Uncle T, whatever, this Michigan booster, he's been fired / removed from the Michigan NIL collective that he was a part of. He was removed from that yesterday. So he's gone. Now the boosters are low rung. They, that is what it is. All right. Then you got Connor Stallions. All right. Well, he's just a staffer. He's just some low level piddly do. Okay. Well, he's fired. Does it go any? What would be next on the rung after that? Oh, yeah, position coach. Well, yesterday a position coach from Michigan was fired, the linebackers coach. What's after that? Coordinators. And coordinators are one step below the head coach. How deep does the rabbit hole go, Michigan man? But the Cheaters should win on the road at Maryland because Maryland's not any good, and Michigan is. Chattanooga on the road at Alabama, not even on TV. Just two irrelevant teams that no one's interested in, to the point where they can't even bother to put this game on TV. Louisville at Miami. Now, this will be interesting here. Louisville, just with the one loss still, ranked inside the top 10, outside shot at the playoffs. An underdog, though, on the road at Miami. 12 o'clock on ABC. Rutgers at Penn State. UL Monroe at Ole Miss. Oklahoma at BYU. Oklahoma should roll there. Tulane at FAU. Tulane fighting for another New Year's Six spot. We'll see if they make it. Coastal Carolina at Army. Michigan State at Indiana. Purdue at Northwestern. Southern Miss at Mississippi State. Abilene Christian at Texas A&M. Yikes. Another game. This is an Alabama type deal here, also not on TV. Wow. Unbelievable. What else? Utah at Arizona. Now, this one does disappoint me. It's on the Pac-12 network. No one gets the Pac-12 network. This might as well be streaming like the Alabama game. Because no one has the Pac-12 network. They just don't. But that could be a really good game. I actually think Arizona's going to win. I wish I could watch that one, but alas, I cannot. Cincinnati at West Virginia. Man, I like West Virginia in this one. We'll check the lines in a minute. I bet this game the other day because I was afraid it was going to go up, but West Virginia was a 6.5 point favorite earlier in the week, and I'd obviously much rather have West Virginia at 6.5 than 7, and I was afraid it was going to go up, so the only two games I have bet so far this week are this game, West Virginia. I bet them at -6.5. And I bet Washington State -4. Boy, that was like stealing. I felt dirty afterwards. But I bet Washington State -4 last night against Colorado. And, of course, that was a winner. And there was just no doubt. So I'm 1-0 so far this weekend with the bets. The only other bet I have placed so far, I'm going to make some more maybe before the show's up. But the only other bet I have so far is this West Virginia game. I like them today. Duke at Virginia. I think that could be a good game too. But again, here we go. The CW network. So no one's watching it. Sorry. They're just not. Georgia at Tennessee. These are going to be the afternoon games coming up now. So I'll be live streaming right here on the channel, right here on YouTube for the afternoon game. So if you're going to be watching this Georgia-Tennessee game or any of these afternoon games, these 3:30 or 4 o'clock games, come on back to the channel and hang out with us this afternoon. We'll have a really good time, I'm sure, watching the games. And maybe y'all will get lucky and Tennessee will be up some in the first quarter and y'all will have a 5 or 10 minute period to troll me. I kind of hope Tennessee gets the ball first and goes down and scores. Because then everybody with an internet connection is going to come right to my channel, which would be ideal for me. Illinois at Iowa. Don't know what the over-under is, but take the under. Wake Forest at Notre Dame. This is the Sam Hartman Bowl here. Sam Hartman, quarterback at Notre Dame. Transferred from Wake Forest. I think Notre Dame wins that one. North Carolina at Clemson. I think Clemson will win at home. North Carolina, too inconsistent. And Clemson appears to be playing better now than they were at the beginning of the season. I like Clemson at home in this spot against North Carolina. UCLA at Southern Cal. Will this be Chip Kelly's last game as head coach at UCLA? There's a lot of smoke that suggests that might be the case. I think it's a bad idea for UCLA to fire Chip Kelly, but UCLA's full of bad ideas, aren't they? Yeah, they are. They are. I'm having a hard time deciding on this one, though. tempted to go with Southern Cal. I'm having a hard time. Y'all are going to have to help talk me one way or the other on that one. I don't know which way to go on that UCLA Southern Cal game. NC State at Virginia Tech. I like Virginia Tech at home in that one. Baylor at TCU. I like whoever Baylor's playing every week. That's who I like. Unless they're playing Tennessee. That would be a good game. But other than that, I like whoever Baylor's playing every week. Yeah. Also in 2. Still with the 3:30 games here. On to 4 o'clock. Here, Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota on the road at Ohio State. Look ahead spot for Ohio State with the Michigan game coming up, but I can't see Ohio State stumbling here. Maybe you consider betting the spread, against Ohio State and Michigan for that matter. We'll see what the spreads are on these games in a few minutes, but sometimes in a look-ahead spot, you might bet the other way, thinking the game will be closer than a lot of people think because the favorite is looking ahead towards that big game next week. So maybe you want to put some money on Minnesota to cover the spread or Maryland to cover the spread, but I don't think Ohio State or Michigan, either one is losing today. Oregon on the road at Arizona State. This is another one where I have a hard time seeing an upset. Arizona State, Colorado's last place in the Pac-12, but Arizona State is one game ahead of them. I mean, they're not any good either. In fact, Colorado beat Arizona State, so I don't see Oregon losing this one. That one's 4 o'clock on Fox. Oklahoma State at Houston. Getting into the primetime games now. 7 o'clock, Kansas State at Kansas in a game that should be played next week. But for whatever reason, it's not. It's played today. Battle of the Kansases. Yeah. I actually like regular Kansas at home over Kansas State in that one. But I think that'll be a good game. Washington at Oregon State. This is a huge red alert here for Washington. They could definitely lose this one. Oregon State's won a bunch of home games in a row. I picked Washington earlier in the week. I have a bet with Pete about who will have better numbers but at the end of the year between DJ Uiagalelei and Cade Klubnik. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all for DJ Uiagalelei to have a really big game and for Oregon State to win for that matter. But as much as I need Uiagalelei to play well, I just find it hard to believe he's going to outduel Michael Penix here. Now, he might not have to if the Oregon State defense can play well. But it's just hard for me to pull the trigger on Uiagalelei against Michael Penix. But a lot of people are picking this as their number one upset pick of the week, which, again, it really wouldn't even be an upset. Oregon State is favored, even though they've got the 2 losses and Washington is undefeated. It's only an upset in terms of ranking if Oregon State wins. Florida at Missouri. I think Missouri rolls. Florida's just a dead program. They're losing recruits now. We all know they're losing games. That's nothing new. But now the recruits are falling off. They're dropping like flies. They're seeing the light. They're opening their eyes. They're coming to their realization that it's probably not in their best interest to waste the next 4 years of their life in Gainesville. Missouri played probably their best game of the season last week, while Florida was busy getting blown out by LSU. Now they got to go on the road again. So back-to-back road games for Florida. Last week LSU, this week Missouri. Not a good spot for Florida. I think Missouri wins big. Kentucky at South Carolina. Now I think this will be a good game too. And South Carolina fans need this win because right now they don't have nothing to hang their hat on heading into the offseason. This isn't a scenario like last year where, remember they beat Tennessee and Clemson in the last 2 weeks. First of all, they're not beating Clemson next week. I hate to break that news to Carolina Jackpot and the other 3 Gamecock fans that exist, but it's not happening. It's just not. This is South Carolina's last chance to win a game, and it's not a guaranteed win. I like that South Carolina's at home. That can be a tough environment to play in at night. And I like Spencer Rattler better than Devin Leary. Devin Leary's been one of the most disappointing quarterbacks in the SEC this year. But, boy, if Carolina drops this one, it's going to be hard to keep any optimism about South Carolina heading into the offseason. Nebraska at Wisconsin at 7:30 on NBC. Why? Great question. Don't know. Have no idea who at NBC thought it would be a good idea to force this down our throats in prime time, but no one's watching it. I just can promise you that. Nebraska's trying to get bowl eligible. They've been stuck at 5 wins for 3 weeks now. You know, Nebraska hasn't made a bowl game since 2016. First year head coach Matt Rule. It would be a big deal for Nebraska to get bowl eligible. But their best chance to do that was a couple of weeks ago. I forget who it was they were playing, and they lost that one. They're on the road at Wisconsin. Tough to win there. And then next week they play Iowa, and they're not likely to even score on Iowa, never mind beat them. So Nebraska's running out of chances to get that 6th win. Texas on the road at Iowa State, another upset special here. It's really these three. It's really those three, right? Texas at Iowa State, Louisville at Miami, and what's the other one? Washington or Oregon State. I think those three all have around a 50% chance or better of the higher ranked team losing. So Texas losing to Iowa State, Washington losing to Oregon State, Louisville losing to Miami. Around a 50% chance or better. Texas is on the lower end of that. I think there's a better chance Texas wins than there is Miami over Louisville or Oregon State over Washington, but those are the 3 most dangerous games for the playoff teams, in my opinion. And maybe you slot Georgia in after that with their road trip to Tennessee. Georgia State at LSU. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Speaking of teams that are trying to get bowl eligible, Georgia Tech better do it this week. Georgia Tech, another team that's sitting on 5 wins. Need one more win to become bowl eligible. You better get it today. That's all I can tell you. Georgia Tech, man. You better get that 6th win today, because you're not getting it next week. They play Georgia next week, and that's just going to be another blowout. And then a couple of Group of 5 games. San Diego State at San Jose State, 10:30 on CBS Sports Network. Yeah. Facts. Nick Koenig says Colorado was ranked 22 one week in September. Yeah, that never made any sense, did it? No, it didn't. Thank you, Nick. Aaron, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, Uncle Woo, driving my FedEx route and hanging out with you today. Thanks for letting me hang out while I work. Go Dogs. Yeah, be careful out there, man. It's y'all's busy time coming up, too, man. You're going to be working crazy hours, I bet. Stay safe out on those roads, man, over the next 6 weeks. Yeah, those UPS and FedEx drivers and post office people work crazy hours for the next 6 or 7 weeks with the holidays. Appreciate y'all hitting the super chat. What are we eating today? We'll look at the odds of all these games in a minute, but what are we eating today? Oh, Nick, you're a FedEx man too? I did not know that. Well, you be careful out there too, buddy. Let's do a poll too. Let's do a, I got one. Let's do a most likely to lose poll. Let's do this. Most likely to lose today. Let's go Louisville, Washington, Texas, Georgia. Let's do that. I have a feeling it's going to be Washington with the most votes, but we'll see who comes in second, third, and fourth, too. Bama Mike, what are we making money on today, buddy? I got money on West Virginia -6.5. We're going to look at the updated odds in a minute, but Where is there money to be made today? Bama Mike's a degenerate gambler like I am. Where is there money to be made today? What's up, Meta? I'm sure I said that wrong. Georgia minus 9.5 is stealing, says Shane. West Virginia down to 5.5. I'll double down then. I'll double down. I really like West Virginia today. Take South Carolina minus 2. I don't take betting advice from fans about their own team. Sorry, Jackpot. West Virginia says Law Tide. Texas says Harry. Where can we make some money? Well, I'm thirsty this morning. Washington +1. Yeah, I like Washington too. Lou, who wins, Utah versus Arizona? I think Arizona wins. It's at Arizona, and I feel like Arizona is undervalued because people still kind of just see the name Arizona and Utah and they say, oh, well, surely Utah's better than Arizona. And I'm not sure they are this year. I mean, Arizona's like, what, 7-3? I think those two teams have the same record. I mean, so I don't know. I like Arizona at home. I would take Utah if they were at home. But I like the home team there. Put money on Dolly Parton. Fuck Dolly Parton. We can go back to pretending we all like Dolly Parton next week. But this week, it's fuck Dolly Parton. LSU minus 32. All right. Let's check out these odds. See if we can make or lose some money. All right, let's see. Michigan at Maryland. Maryland 18.5. I will say this. I don't know if I would bet against Michigan or Ohio State this week, but I would not bet on them either. Michigan in particular, they had the road game at Penn State last week, home game against Ohio State next week, and then stuck in the middle here, kind of sandwiched in between, is this kind of sleepy early noon game on the road at Maryland. Plus all the outside kind of noise and distraction going on around the Michigan program with them getting caught cheating. I don't know if I could pull the trigger and take Maryland at 18.5. I'd love to have it at closer to 21 or even 20. But I'm not betting on either Michigan or Ohio State this week because they play next week, and that's just classic look-ahead spot. But I do think Michigan and Ohio State both win today, but I don't know that I would bet $1 on either one of those games. Louisville on the road at Miami. Louisville is now favored. I believe Miami was favored by a point or two earlier in the week. That has reversed itself, and I still like Louisville to go down there and get the win, but they could lose. And I still think Louisville is beating Florida State in the ACC championship game. I'm sticking with that prediction until I'm proven wrong. 2 weeks from today. Oklahoma at BYU. BYU getting 24.5 points. I would take BYU in the points here. Oklahoma on the road. I would take BYU in the points. I think Oklahoma wins comfortably, but I don't know about the 24.5. I would take BYU in that spot with all those points. Don't know that I'll bet that. I'll let you know any games I bet on, but I'm just giving you my picks. I don't bet on every game I make a pick on. Obviously, that's a great way to lose money. Bet on like 20 games. That's one of the dumbest things you can do. The less games you bet on, the more likely you are to win. In my experience, anyway. What else do we got? James Madison, which is where College Game Day is today. They're hosting App State, and James Madison is favored by 9.5. I might take App State there. Would take App State there. Utah at Arizona. A couple people asking about that one. Arizona, a 1-point favorite at home. I like Arizona there. I would consider even betting this game. In fact, I might bet that game. Cincinnati at West Virginia. West Virginia's down to 5. I thought it was going to go the other way. I bet it at 6.5, thinking it was going to go to 7. It's gone the other way. I still like West Virginia to win at home. Duke over Virginia, favored by 3. Yeah, I think I like Duke there. Georgia on the road at Tennessee. What was my score prediction? 34-21. That's 13 points. So I'll take Georgia minus 9.5. I'll take Georgia minus 9.5. Here's the thing about this game. It sort of feels to me like this game is either going to be really close. I'm talking one possession in the fourth quarter close. Or Georgia wins by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Because I do think if Georgia, like for example, if Georgia is up at halftime, let's say Georgia's up at halftime 21-10, something like that. And Georgia gets the ball to start the third quarter and goes right down and scores, and now it's 28-10, and then Tennessee goes 3 and out. That stadium's going to empty out. Everyone's going to leave. They're going to boo. They're going to leave. They're going to throw mustard and golf balls, and they're going to leave. They're going to be home by the start of the fourth quarter. And if that happens, Georgia could then pull away in the end and end up winning by 3 or 4 touchdowns or something. It feels like it's either going to be that or this is a really, really close game into the fourth quarter. That's kind of what it feels like to me. We'll see. Iowa's a 3-point favorite at home against Illinois. The over-under is 32. I like the under, and I like Iowa to cover the 3. I like under 32.5, and I like Iowa to cover the 3 in that one. Can anybody score on Iowa? Penn State scored on them. Has anyone else scored on Iowa? I don't know. I don't think so. North Carolina on the road at Clemson. I like the Taters here. I like the Taters to win and cover the 7.5. I think Clemson, I don't know what the right phrase is to use. I don't know if they figured things out, or I don't know what the phrase is to use. But what is that doing? I don't know what the hell that was. Yeah. Ain't got no internet in it. Yep, ain't got no internet in it. But Clemson appears to be playing better than they were the first month and a half of the season. And North Carolina is just so inconsistent. Now, Drake May is 100 times the quarterback to Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik will never be as good as Cade Mays is right now, ever. And if Cade Klubnik lived 100 lifetimes, he'd never be as good as Drake May. But I think Clemson wins that one at home. We'll see. Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's favored by 25. I can't lay 25 points with Notre Dame. I haven't seen them beat anybody by 25 except a service academy. Wake Forest is not a service academy, are they? Wake Forest is out of service, actually. They're not any good. They're just out of service. Let's stay serious if we can. UCLA on the road at Southern Cal. Southern Cal's a 5-point favorite. I cannot make up my mind on this one. Well, first of all, there's no way I'm betting this game because I have no idea what to expect in this game. You got all these rumors about Chip Kelly potentially being fired. This could be his last game. They might fire him tomorrow. You keep hearing this all week. Southern Cal, on the other hand, kind of in give-up mode. Caleb Williams, last couple of games of his career here. Southern Cal's defense is horrific. UCLA's got a good ground game. What if they run the ball for 300 yards? Maybe they do. Or maybe they, I don't know. I can't get a read on this game. I've got no idea. So you can't even do what you normally do when you don't have any idea, which is say, well, I guess I'll take the home team. They're technically both home teams here. I mean, it's just across town. I literally have no clue on that UCLA Southern Cal game. Baylor at TCU. I like TCU minus 13.5. Baylor, what are y'all doing? NC State on the road at Virginia Tech. I like Virginia Tech at home. They can win by a field goal, can't they? That would cover the 2.5. Yeah, I like Virginia Tech in that one. Minnesota at Ohio State. Everything I said about the Michigan-Maryland game, I also apply that to this game here. I give Ohio State a 99.9% chance of winning the game. I don't see an upset happening here. But I would not bet on Ohio State minus 28 just because next week is the Ohio State-Michigan game, and it's a classic look-ahead spot. I'm not betting on either the Michigan or the Ohio State game today. Obviously, Ohio State could beat Minnesota by more than 28. Michigan could beat Maryland by more than whatever that 30-something, whatever that spread was. Because those two teams play next week, I'm staying away from them this week. Oregon on the road at Arizona State. Oregon will win. We talked about this. I would take Arizona State in the 24.5. Oregon has struggled historically in the state of Arizona. I don't expect them to lose the game, but 24.5 just seems like a lot of points. Now, Arizona State's not any good. Oregon is. Bo Nix might win the Heisman. But I would take Arizona State in the points there. Oklahoma State on the road at Houston. I like Oklahoma State to rebound. Embarrassing what they did or didn't do last weekend on the road. It's UCF. I think they get it turned around and get a win over Houston this week. What else do we got? Central Florida, who had that big win last week, is on the road at Texas Tech, and I like Texas Tech at home. Close, but I like Texas Tech at home. Kansas State at Kansas. I like this one, too. I'll take Kansas in the 10 points. I think this could be a really good game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas won. I'll take Kansas in the 10 points here. Primetime game, in-state rivalry, Kansas State at Kansas. Washington and Oregon State, probably the most talked about game of the week. A lot of people, well over half the people that I have heard from, talked to, read comments, whatever, are picking Oregon State to win this game. So maybe I'm the idiot, but I like Washington. Maybe I'm the idiot, but I like Washington. I don't think Washington's losing until they play Oregon. And I do think they're going to lose to Oregon. Florida on the road at Missouri. I like Missouri to cover the 11. Florida's got more issues. Go look at Florida's schedule for next year. Florida's going to end this season with 5 straight losses. They've already lost 3 in a row. They lost to Georgia, Arkansas, and LSU. Today they're losing to Missouri. Next week they're losing to Florida State. That's 5 losses in a row. Let me pull their schedule up for next year. Never mind. The dates aren't out yet. We don't know the dates of the games next year. The SEC hasn't released the dates of the games yet, so we can't really look at the schedule. I mean, we can look at the teams they're playing, but they play Florida State, of course. They play Miami, and they play Central Florida. Those are their 3 non-con games. Who made that schedule? They play Florida State, Miami, and Central Florida next year. They could lose all 3 of those. And we haven't even gotten to the SEC part of their schedule yet. Florida's going to end this season with 5 straight losses, and they're probably going 3-9 next year. They're just a horrific dumpster fire of a program. Kentucky on the road at South Carolina. This is another one I'm having a hard time picking. I might go with Carolina just to support my man Jackpot here, but this is tough here. South Carolina, boy, they need a win bad. There's just been nothing really for them to get excited about this season. I guess they can say they were beating Georgia at halftime. Is that the best thing South Carolina's done this year? Is beat Georgia in the first half in week 3? Yikes. Nebraska at Wisconsin. Wisconsin favored by 6.5 at home. Boy, Nebraska needs a win bad to make a bowl game. I don't think they're winning at night at Wisconsin. And then they play Iowa next week. Nebraska's going to come up one game short, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Texas on the road at Iowa State. I will take Iowa State in the points here. I think Texas wins a close one, though. No Jonathan Brooks for Texas, out for the year, but Quinn Ewers, those wide receivers, I think the defense plays good enough. I think Texas wins by a touchdown, just under that 7.5. How about that? I'll take Iowa State in the 7.5, though. Yeah. I like Georgia Tech to cover today. I like Georgia Tech to cover to 6.5. They had one of their worst games of the season last week, Georgia Tech did. Haynes King, 4 interceptions against Clemson, just got blown out. But home game, I think they cover to 6.5. I think Georgia Tech today becomes bowl eligible, improving to 6-5. And next week, Georgia will beat the shit out of them, and they'll finish 6-6 and play in some bowl game that not even Sea Dog will watch. 10:30 tonight, San Diego State at San Jose State. Over under 48. I like the over. I like the over 48 in the late night game tonight. There you go. There you go. That's how you make money or lose money betting on college football. Yeah. All right, we got the rigged wheel coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes. So make sure if you want to get your name on the wheel, make sure you're doing that now. Any Cash App, any PayPal donation to the channel will get your name added to the rigged wheel, and we're doing 10 times your money today, up to $200. So Merry Christmas. Black Friday coming up. Uncle Lou's in the holiday spirit. Have y'all heard about the LouTube Christmas choir? It's all the rage. Everyone's talking about it. Surely you've heard about it. Have y'all heard about the LouTube Christmas choir or no? Dylan Deloney, I need you to talk to Edward. Have Edward email me. I need Edward to be in the LouTube Christmas choir. We're working out the details now. But we got the LouTube Christmas choir coming up. We're going to get started on that over the next couple of weeks. They're going to be performing Jingle Bells for you. They're going to be performing Jingle Bells for you. It's really the hottest thing since the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, or whatever it's called. It's the hottest thing since Mannheim Steamroller. But, yeah, we got the LouTube Christmas choir. So, VicTube, as far as who's in the choir, you got VicTube, you got Nate the Great, you got Edward, Octavian, Eric the Missouri fan. I'm leaving some people out. I have the list, but not in here. But anyway, it's going to be amazing. Like I said, they're going to be performing Jingle Bells for you. And literally everyone is talking about it and looking forward to it. So that's good. That's good. Well, we asked Edward, and he agreed. He said he didn't mind. Edward's not, I mean, he's technically Jewish, But I mean, we had him on the Lunch Money Show. He was rooting for Palestine and all that. He's not really all that Jewish. I mean, he has Jewish parents. That's about the extent of his Judaism. I'd take Caleb Williams. Bad dog. I like Drake May too, though. I'd probably go Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix in that order if it was up to me to, if I was a GM or something, deciding between those three. I'd take any of them on my team, though. It's not a thing where, well, if we can't get Caleb Williams, I don't want to take a chance on Drake May. No, I'd take any of them. I'd take any of them. When will UJ be on your season is over? Whenever they lose, just like they always are. They play by the same rules on this channel as everybody else does. Georgia's been on the your season is over list every single time they've lost for the last 6 years. Just doesn't happen very often because they don't lose very often. All right. Says it would be a good year for the playoffs to be more than 4 teams. A lot of people, this season should change people's mind about the 12-team playoff. People that were against the 12-team playoff, a season like this should change people's mind. Just, can you imagine if we had, let's say, in the first round of the playoffs, what if you had in the first round of the playoffs, Alabama hosting a playoff game at Bryant-Denny Stadium against Washington. And you had Ohio State hosting a first-round playoff game against, let's say, Missouri. And then you had, I don't know. I mean, these are going to be great games. These home playoff games starting next year are going to be great games. I can't wait. I'm excited for the 12-team playoff. Washington is this year's TCU. Yeah, them. So you mean Washington's going to win a playoff game and lose the national title game? Is that what you mean? I disagree. I don't think Washington's going to win a playoff game. I don't think Washington's going to win a playoff game. I don't even think Washington's going to the playoffs. So I strongly disagree. I think Washington is this year's Alabama. They're not making the playoffs. Well, Alabama's this year's Alabama. Washington's this year's Tennessee. That's what I think. Alabama and Georgia would whip this shit out of any other teams in the country, says Rodney. I don't know about Alabama. Alabama seems a little overinflated right now to me. I don't know. I don't think Alabama's a great team. Will FSU get throttled this year to Oregon like they did their last time in the playoffs? I do think Oregon would beat Florida State if they played. I thought FSU was Tennessee. No, FSU fans are Tennessee fans. This year's Florida State fans are acting like last year's Tennessee fans. Why do Georgia fans think every year there's a last year's TCU? I've never heard anybody, Georgia fan or anyone else, ever say that anybody is last year's TCU except for this year. So you asking why people say that every year is the weirdest question I've ever been asked. This year's Tennessee is last year's Alabama. Kirby's on to something. You think so? You think? You think Kirby might have figured something out? I don't know. It does sort of appear that way, doesn't it? 27 wins in a row, back-to-back national titles, won 43 of their last 44 games. Who you got in the Michigan-Ohio State game? Craig, thank you for the super chat. I would pick Michigan if I had to make that pick right now. Who would give Georgia the most challenge? It's got to be somebody that can throw the ball. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be somebody that can throw the ball. I don't know if that's Michigan. It's not Ohio State. It's not Alabama. Oh, maybe in Oregon? One playoff spot left. Bama and Texas went out. Who gets in? Texas. If it played out that way. But I don't think it's going to come down to that. But if it did come down to that, Texas would be 4 and Bama would be 5 if it worked out the way you're asking. What are y'all eating today? I've got no food plans today. So give me an idea. Give me something to eat today. What are y'all eating? Give me some ideas here. I don't want pizza. What are y'all eating for football today? Chicken wings, onion rings, and fries. Chicken fingers. You know, chicken fingers is not a bad idea. I could eat some chicken fingers with honey mustard today. That's not a bad idea. A burrito. A smoked brisket. Seems like every week somebody in here is smoking a brisket. Gumbo. Well, I'm going to New Orleans for 4 days next week, so I'll save the gumbo for while I'm there. Pulled pork sandwich, chicken fried rice. I like pork fried rice. I mean, chicken fried rice is good too. It's not that I won't eat it, but like when I order Chinese, I usually get the pork fried rice. All right, we got about 5 minutes left here before we do the wheel. So again, it's the holiday season is here. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and everything else in Hanukkah and Kwanzaa too, and Mele Kalikimaka. But it's holiday season. Next weekend is Black Friday weekend. So today for the rigged wheel, if we get a winner, they're going to win 10 times their money, up to $200. So If you donate $10 to the channel and you win, you will receive $100 from Uncle Lou. If you donate $20 to the channel and you win, I will send you $200. You know how the rigged wheel works. We're going to add everybody's name to the wheel from the Cash App and the PayPal. Then we'll spin the wheel. Whatever name the wheel lands on, you can pick any game you want today against the spread. Any game you want. All you got to do is get one game right. Get the game right, and I will send you back 10 times your money up to $200. Dylan Deloney says, Bowers will have a big day since that Hilljack wanted him to get hurt. Yeah, and Brock Bowers hasn't played great against Tennessee. If you go back and look over his first 2 years, he hasn't exactly lit Tennessee up. So it would be nice to see him have a good game today. What's my go-to chicken finger place? Well, Wife Saver's my favorite, but I also like Bojangles. I like Bojangles, the chicken supremes, the spicy ones. They're not all that spicy, but they call them spicy. But probably those two. Hot dogs with lots of mustard. Save some mustard for the game. I could eat a chili dog. Now that I could do. You have the flu, Marie? I hope you get feeling better. Bojangles is top tier, says Ari Maida. Bojangles honey mustard is top shelf. Let me tell you something. Why Bojangles has not started bottling up their honey mustard and selling it is beyond me. But you are 100% right, Niner gang. Bojangles honey mustard is by far the best honey mustard on this planet that I've ever had, and nothing else. I couldn't even tell you what comes in second. Nothing else is close. Bojangles honey mustard is unbelievably good. Oh, I love jalapeno poppers. Now, we make them ourselves. I like the frozen ones, too, that you just buy from the grocery store and cook in the oven. I mean, those are good, too, but the homemade ones are so much better. But we take a jalapeno, we cut it in half, we fill it with cream cheese, wrap it in a piece of bacon, and then bake that in the oven. And, man, those things, I could eat my body weight in those. We do that 2 or 3 times every football season. In fact, I'm going to do it again some point during bowl season probably. I've done it, I think, twice already this football season. I'm going to do it again probably some point during bowl season. But, yeah, jalapeno poppers are so good. Air fryer, no, nothing in the air fryer. I've got a microwave already. Air fryer is just a waste of money. Let's not get started on that. Let's not get started on that. Oh, I forgot about our poll, too. Let's end our poll. Most likely to lose today. 42% of you say Washington, most likely to lose. 29% Louisville, most likely to lose. 19% say Texas, and 9% say Georgia. That's kind of the order I figured it would be in. I'm actually a little surprised Washington's not higher, even above 50% maybe, but that's about the order I figured. I wonder what TikTok man is doing right now. Well, I'm not wondering that at all. Nor do I care. Washington will win, says B. Bean. Yeah, I picked Washington too. I don't know that I'll bet on it, but man, it's a dangerous spot for several teams today. I'm a honey mustard man. I'll have to try the Bojangles. Oh, God, so good. So good. It's so good that I don't even care that they charge me for extra honey mustards. Normally that would be something I would raise hell about. Like if I went to McDonald's and ordered something and they asked me what kind of sauce I wanted and I said, whatever, barbecue. And I go, and let me get 2 or 3 of them. and they tried to charge me for that, I would raise hell. The honey mustard at Bojangles is so good, I don't even care that they charge you for extra. They're only going to give you one honey mustard at Bojangles. If you want another one, you got to pay like, I think it's a quarter or 50 cents or something. It's the best quarter or 50 cents you'll spend. I don't even complain. That's how good it is. It's so good. You got to pay for ketchup in Europe, says Thomas Bailey. Is the Hilljack man covering themselves in mustard before the game? Probably. If not, then they'll be doing it after. These Gumps can't keep their story straight. Tennessee sucks, but beating UGA, big dummies. Well, no one's ever accused the Gump of being the brightest of bulbs. It's a shame Chick-fil-A's honey mustard is so bad. You know, I don't know that I've had Chick-fil-A's honey mustard. I don't eat chicken nuggets, mostly because I'm grown. But when I go to Chick-fil-A, I get a chicken sandwich. So I don't know that I've ever had honey mustard from Chick-fil-A. Waycross, Georgia. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in here, Josh. Chick-fil-A's honey roasted barbecue sauce is the GOAT, says Andy Kicklighter. Chick-fil-A nuggets can't be beat. Chick-fil-A keeps serving me half raw chicken sandwiches, and it's irritating. Yeah, especially since that can make you really, really sick. Yeah, let me get a chicken sandwich. Yeah, how do you want that cooked? Extra rubbery, please. Let me get a side of salmonella in that. Thank you. I don't know what's on the menu. That's what I was asking everybody a few minutes ago, Gump Man, what everybody was eating today, because I don't. I'm gonna have to order something probably. I won't have time to cook anything today because I'm streaming from 3:30 this afternoon till basically 10:30 tonight. The 3:30 stream on right here on YouTube, 7:30 stream over on the Patreon page. So whatever I do, I'll probably have to order it. Like Uber Eats or DoorDash or something like that, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Publix fried chicken is really good, Dylan. Publix fried chicken is really good. Publix fried chicken and Publix subs from the deli, really good. And the chili was good. Yeah, chili was good. We had chili and cornbread last week. It's a little warmer this weekend, so nothing like that today. It's like 75, 76 degrees today. Oh, okay. Yeah, BA's coming over. She said she'll bring some food. That's good. That's great news. That's great news. If Bojangles honey mustard was a sport, it'd be college football. Yeah, the greatest condiment on earth. Bojangles honey mustard. I'm not gonna lie. If when I eat Bojangles, if there's any honey mustard left, I'm not gonna lie. I stick my finger in there, and there is no honey mustard left when I leave Bojangles. I eat every last bit of it. You could eat it by the spoonful. It's so good. All right, let's do the wheel and get out of here. Let's do the wheel. Okay. There's your wheel. Let's delete last week's names. And we're going to add this week's name. So this is the final call to get your name on the wheel. We're doing 10 times your money today. If the wheel lands on your name, you can pick any game you want today against the spread. All you got to do is get one game right. You get one game right, I'm going to send you back 10 times your money, up to $200. So if you sent 10, I send you back 100. If you sent 20, I send you 200. I think you can figure it out from there. Let's start with the Cash App. And again, you got about 5 minutes if you're not on here already. All right, we're going to start with Carolina Jackpot. And he's allergic to money because he took Tennessee into points. Sir UGA up next. Andrew K. David A. Eric O. Brad R. Mike Leach's Pet Sasquatch. JC. Naomi D. William S. The Fence Man. Well, I could have used you a couple of years ago. Fences aren't hard. It's the gates that are the problem. You do gates or just fences? It's the gates that are the problem. Well, I can fuck a gate up. I can put up some fence paneling. You start you get to the gate now. Call in the professionals. William B, Jesse E, Dakota H, Kylie R, all right, on to the PayPal. On to the PayPal. And I'll come back and check Cash App one last time because sometimes there's a delay. I don't want anybody to get left off. PayPal, here we go. Jamie P. Zeus. Let's put Zeus up on the board. How'd that be? J.R. River says Octavian to cover. Octavian's famous. Octavian's internet famous now. Colby likes the dogs to cover. Jay Shipes also likes the dogs. Kurt G also likes the dogs. Traction Jackson. Yeah, all right. How you doing, buddy? He says, fact, 2 U.S. presidents have been impeached since Tennessee won a conference championship. Somebody kick a hill jack for me today because I can't. Go dogs. And I'll take the dogs to cover. Thank you, Traction Jackson. Huffer Billy Paw. Huffer Billy Paw is going to Vegas with me in January. So is Sir UGA and Pigskin Pete and Colby. Huffer Billy Paul says, while I believe my Tigers will win, UNC will cover. Give me UNC and the points. Man, your Taters have beat you down bad this year, Huffer Billy Paul. They really have. Swaggy Man. Swaggy Man likes Mizzou and the points. So do I. Bama Mike. This is for the tears of joy talking about Dolly Parton. Yeah, people didn't like what I had to say about Dolly Parton, but look, we can go back to liking Dolly Parton next week, okay? We can go back to liking Dolly Parton next week. Jason M. Kyle O. All right. Bulldog Brian. And Spence G. Did we do? Where is? Okay, yeah, we did Kylie. Spence, Bulldog, Brian, Jesse E. All right, I think we got it. Nope, there's another one. All right, if you haven't sent it now, don't send it because we're getting ready to cut it off and there's a delay and I don't want to do it and then somebody, then it shows up after I do it. Joseph D. All right, there we go. There we go. Rigged as hell. Bobo says, give me the loot. Give me the loot. Happy birthday. How about them dogs? UJ to covers, as Bobo's had said. Will Eubank says, go Vols, but today's going to be an ugly one. Congrats to UJ and Lou on 28 straight wins. Man, Will, you giving up already, man? Come on. Come on, buddy. Don't give up already. There's always a chance, man. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. All right, I'm checking for the last time, and then we're spinning the wheel. Last time I did it, and then somebody said I didn't add them to the wheel. Yep, there's another one. Clay C. Jr. That's it, though. Clay C. Jr. UGA to cover. All right. Okay. All right. There is only one thing left to do. What am I looking for? Are these the droids I'm looking for? No, those aren't the droids. Here's the droids I'm looking for. All right, let's see. Look at you picking the numbers already. Yeah, Sports Talk 101. Give me a number between 3 and 5. Give me a number between 3 and 5. He says 5. All right, we are going to spin the wheel 5 times. Everybody's name is on the wheel. The 5th name. We're looking for the 5th name today. Spin number 1. Big shout out to everybody for tuning in this morning, too. I have a great time on these kickoff shows. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me this morning. David A. All right, that's spin number 1. Spin number 2. We're looking for the 5th name. Sports Talk 101 says the 5th name is the winner. Name number 2. Bama Mike. Name number 3. We are looking for the 5th name. William S. Here comes the 4th spin. 4th spin. Looking for the 5th name, though. Thank you all for helping to support the show and the channel. I wish I could do more. I wish I could do something for all of you. Sasquatch. All right, this is going to be the last spin and today's winner. But again, a big shout out to everybody for tuning in, and a big shout out to those of you who help support the show and the channel by hitting the thumbs up and participating in the comments section and the super chats and the cash apps and the PayPals and hanging out all the time. It really means a lot. Holidays are coming up, and I hope everybody enjoys their holiday season. And I wish I could do more, but we're going to send somebody 10 times their money to jumpstart their Christmas shopping if they can pick one game right. And that one person is, oh God, Huffer Billy Paul. Wow, Huffer Billy Paul. The only person I know dumb enough to split tens in blackjack. Huffer Billy Paul. And he's a Clemson fan, but he is picking North Carolina to cover. Was it 7.5? Clemson, North Carolina. Was that 7.5? Am I remembering that right? Yeah, 7.5. So, Huffer Billy Paw on the wheel has North Carolina plus 7.5. Good luck, Paul. I hope you win. 10 times your money is on the line. 10 times. Shout out to Huffer Billy Paul. I don't think he's ever won before. I mean, I don't even think the wheels ever even landed on his name before. I could be wrong. This is like the third or fourth year we've been doing this. Kyle says if you split tens, you shouldn't be eligible for the wheel. You know, I kind of agree. Maybe we should make that a rule going forward. I tell you what, Paul. Okay, we're all going to Vegas in January. Me, Huffer Billy Paul here in the comment section, Sir UGA, Pigskin Pete, Colby. There's a bunch of us going to Vegas in January. Here's the deal, Paul. If I catch you splitting tens in Vegas, you're never eligible for the rigged wheel again. Speaking of Vegas, not only are we all going to Vegas, do y'all watch the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix? Do y'all watch the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix? We're all, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I got to show you this. I got to show you this for you Peaky Blinders fans. Sorry, I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm working as fast as I can here. I apologize. Yeah, let's do that. Copy, paste. I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying. Check this out. We all bought Peaky Blinders suits to wear in Vegas. Yeah, Lou Shelby here. I'm now a gypsy. We all bought Peaky Blinders suits to wear out one night in Vegas. Mine came in yesterday, so I was trying it on. I could almost pass for a gentleman, couldn't I? I could almost pass for a gentleman. I've seen Pete's suit. I'm not going to show it. He can show y'all if he wants. I've seen Pete's suit. His looks good, too. His looks good, too. His is like a blue checkered suit. You have to see it. But, yeah, Pete's looks good. Huffer Billy Paul is getting one. Colby's getting one. Sir UJ is gonna get one. We're going to look good. We're going to look good. I look like a cheater from Michigan? Oh, come on now. A revolver? No. Slim Shady Kane's is trying to find me a Tommy gun. Well, we're going to be trouble walking around Vegas, ain't we? Oh, man. Empty the compartments of your pantaloons. RR says it's not the Peaky Blinders, it's the Geeky Blinders. Thank you, RR. Bobo's headset said, give me the loot, give me the loot. Thank y'all. How far does Georgia fall in the rankings after the loss today? 6, 7, or 8. Well, it depends who else wins and loses, obviously. They would fall behind any undefeated team at least. Nittanyberg says, I've been to Vegas and I can confirm they will be the least weird people there. Give me Lou's hat and the over. That's a hell of a parlay there. I like the suit though. I ordered it online, and first of all, I'm always nervous about ordering any clothes online because you just never really know, sizing and how it's going to fit or how it's going to look or how the material is going to feel or whatever. And I ordered the suit online and it came in yesterday, but I'm happy with it. It looks good. I'm happy with it. Why don't the pants match? What? What are you, blind? You must be blind. You have to get somebody to describe it to you. That's funny. I saw on Amazon that they sell fake plastic razor blades that you can put in the side of these hats. But no, I didn't get one. No, I'm not any good at NCAA 14. No, the middle button's not a different color. What are y'all talking about? It's just the light it's the light. Y'all are weird. Yeah, I have no idea what you're looking at, B-Bean. No clue. You need to get your eyes checked. The pants are the exact same color and exact same material as the vest and the jacket. I don't know what you're seeing. I don't know if you're trolling, blind, or just literally that retarded. You're weird enough to watch Big 12 football. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I hope y'all enjoy the football today. I'll be back on live at 3:30 right here on this channel. We're going to live stream all the where is it? We're going to live stream all the 3:30 games right here on the channel, and tonight's Patreon stream will be at 7:30 after the afternoon game. So if you're going to be watching Georgia, Tennessee, or any other games this afternoon at 3:30, come back to the channel, hang out. We'll have a good time watching the games. And if Georgia loses or is losing at any point during the game, then, of course, you can take that opportunity to come troll me, which is something you've been waiting a long time to do. Long time. 27 games you've been waiting to troll Lou. Maybe today is the day. I don't know. We'll find out at 3:30 this afternoon. Good luck to everybody's team today, unless, of course, you happen to be a Tennessee fan, in which case you already know you got to tote the Giant L. I hope everybody else's team wins. Let's hope for a great day of football, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Have a good morning.